Hey, guess what? It's time to get up. Yeah, there you go. It's time. It's time to get your ass going, guys. It's that time. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I know you're thinking about hitting snooze. If you do that, you're going to be a step behind. John Anderson's going to come chase you like he chased the bear last night. You don't want to hit the snooze, but you want to get your ass out of bed right now. We got a massive show this morning in the lab. The good, the bad, the surprising of being an entrepreneur with Jenny Sucat. Oh yeah, coming up in a few moments. She made her own earrings. She did. I saw them. They're pretty spectacular. So we're going to dig into the idea of being an entrepreneur first thing this morning, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, all those things that, I want to be an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, do you? Oh, do you really want to be an entrepreneur? We're going to ask that question of Jenny Sucat this morning. And then in the second hour, oh baby, a second hour today, Jeff Hatton, the funny guy from LinkedIn. Jeff makes me laugh and makes all you guys laugh all the time. So tune in for the 2 full hours today with Jenny and Jeff, John Anderson, C. Marty Fit, producer Christina Flynn, and me. I'm that guy. I'm Keith Bilous. Hey, we are here in the mornings. I'm going to bring in my friends here. What's up, Marty?
What up? What up?
What's up, Johnny?
Good morning. How's the delay? Is my internet okay today?
It's the first thing I always think about, Marty, when I get up. How's Johnny's delay going to be this morning?
It's all right today. We've had better days.
John, we are patient.
2 more days. 2 more days and I come out of the mountains. I come out of the mountains in 2 days.
We are patiently waiting for the return of John Anderson to the normal world of the internet for us here on Mornings in the Lab. We, of course, enjoy John's humor, enjoy his sound bites, but it's just not the same when we got to wait for them to lob themselves up here. So, but it's all right. We're going to make do with it. Hey, guys, Jenny Sucat's joining this morning. She's a world traveler. She's a mom of 3, entrepreneur, developer, creative mind behind the straightforward job site. And you know what, Marty? She makes earrings too. I saw them this morning, man. So she got a lot of things going on. She's got
a woman.
A very talented woman. Yeah, absolutely. Entrepreneurial spirit. She ran a specialty bakery. She launched a unique job site. I think the kids did it all, Johnny. I think she just, she might just sit around often though, too. She's like, I'm not doing nothing. Right? She's tech savvy, colorful, champion of positive change. And Marty, recent viral, I didn't say virus, recent viral sensation. Yeah, true. Jenny's insights on entrepreneurship went mega viral recently. 3 weeks ago, she made a post. Marty, 2,500 engagements and a lively conversation with 336 comments. Marty, no fakery going on there, brother.
Can't fake that.
You can't fake that. No, we talk about how folks fake engagement all the time here in the lab, but not Jenny Sucat. No, she's got the realness happening over there. So
I think faking on LinkedIn is crazy. Like Instagram is one thing, but on LinkedIn, come on, man. This is so thirsty, man.
I love your I love your expression around that because it is pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Right?
It makes no sense, man. Like. Instagram is that's an app where people stunt and flex and they lie a lot. Okay, cool. LinkedIn, where you're supposed to be professional.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how
where there's professionals there who will find out you're a fake faster than somebody would on Instagram. But that's another rant for another day.
Well, hey, but maybe on our journey, because I've done a little bit of work in that social media world, maybe we can talk about the fakery and the realness. And I'm just thinking out loud here for a moment, nation. I'm just thinking out loud here, Johnny. Maybe as the whole world's talking about views and fake views, we can lean into engagement and real numbers. I don't know. Maybe those are things that we want to talk about here in the lab. So while everybody's looking at the fakery over there, we're going to talk real numbers, real engagement. I don't know. Would you like to have 1 million people, Johnny, on your list and have just 10 show up? Or would you like to highly engage with 10 people and have a great conversation?
Well, I think when you go to someone's page and they've got some huge following and they have nothing of value to say, then you can quickly realize that there's a problem. But when you go to someone's page and they're saying stuff like, whoa, that's affecting me, that's helping me, there's value there. It's pretty easy to spot if someone is actually gathered their following or if they paid for it. Because if they've gathered it, it's because they're saying shit that people want to hear.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
And one more thing, Keith, the bot comments.
Yeah. Oh.
Now look, man, look. There's somebody that you know. I'm not going to say. I think they have bot comments, but I'm not going to say who it is.
Oh, we'll have that conversation off the air, will we?
Yes. Has to be a bot.
I suspect you're not incorrect.
But they won't say that.
No, of course they won't say that. No. But I will say good morning to Good Time. Good Time's hanging out this morning.
Good Time.
What's
up, Enzo?
You are rocking and rolling here in the lab. Good morning, Enzo. Oh boy, nice to have you here on the show as well. And Marty, we've touched a chord, Marty and Johnny. Oh, they're coming in so young. Oh, and good morning. And of course, she's all about when they have a large number of followings, but their posts only get a couple of hundred likes. You know, the followers are bought. Yes, yeah. I'm thinking maybe to the chagrin of producer Tina. I mean, we'll bring her up in a moment there, Marty. But maybe to the chagrin of producer Tina, maybe we'll just create a whole segment on the show calling out all the fake companies out there.
I'm with it. I love it.
All of a sudden he's.
You know what? I think we got to flip the script here. We got to flip the script. Let's not spend all this time focusing on negative shit. Let's take the same energy and build some shit up. You know, we don't need. We got plenty of people that want to talk smack. We don't need to be a part of that group. Jesus Christ, we're the ones that are doing the shit, so people want to talk smack. Come on now, fellas.
But John, see that's part of the buildup because if we're here to improve people, we do have to let them know what's out there.
Yeah. Hey, I do like Marty so Johnny's a couple of days older than I am. So I like the fact that we have like an older fellow keeping me in check too. So when I'm like wanting to go down the path of going to kick some ass, John's like, no, I'm a little older than you, Bilous. I think we're going to put the kicking ass away and we're going to go to the
kick ass. Yeah. And I'm the opposite. Kick ass.
Hey, but I do it. So guys, There's a
difference though, real quick. There's a difference between pointing something out and spending a bunch of time on it.
Yes. Or having some fun with what I want to talk about next. So because we have a great internet connection, I found a great story that I got to throw on the table this morning, boys. Tina's wondering which one I'm throwing out here right now. Yeah, she's
shaking her head back there. Yeah, see, I knew it.
I think we got to pull Tina up for this one. I think we got to pull Tina to the stage. What's up, producer Flynn? How's it going this morning?
Oh, dear Lord. What have you got for me now?
Okay, so I like to find fun stories to throw on the table for all of us to converse about and for the world to converse about. And yesterday I found a story. Johnny, this one's maybe perhaps something in our wheelhouse. I'm just thinking out loud here, but so Johnny, Catherine June Lee, 58. Oh, our demographic. She was in court last week. After being busted for having sex with a trout.
With a trout, like a fish?
Yep. And
well, I guess the first thing is, where do you have? I mean, I suppose if you want to have sex with a fish, it's your deal. But where would you do that to get yourself in trouble? Would be the question. If you were in your own bedroom, I don't imagine you're getting arrested for this one.
Well, Jesus.
There's so many inappropriate jokes I can make right now, and I won't make
Apparently, according to police, June and one Ashley Hallen were allegedly filming the act on a boat. And apparently others saw the act happening on the boat and reported it to officials. And as a result, Lee and Halleman were charged with producing bestiality product during the incident because Lee was caught having sex with the trout.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Now, in the crazy event that I saw this happen, the last thing I'm doing is calling the cops and reporting it. That's the last thing on my mind. Like, what are you doing?
Marty, then what is the first, if that's the last thing, what's the first thing, brother?
Oh my God.
I'm honestly just gonna be like, hey, what the F, and keep going on with my day. Like I might text my group chat about it. That's about it.
I'm just the conduit of conversation, Christina Flynn. I just find the stories, I serve them up for our nation to discuss. And Marty, so listen, Christina's doing an awesome job producing the show here. You know, last couple of days, just nailing them home there. Now, yesterday, I said, hey, I got a great story for the show today. And I will admit that I did share this with her yesterday. She looked at me like, really? I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about it at some time. And I had a good sleep last night. I get some energy today. We got a good internet connection with John. So I figured, hey, today's the good time to talk about the Trout story. Right, Tina?
Well, real quick, let's make sure we understand this. The trout was the innocent.
Yeah.
The trout was the innocent bystander. It could have been a salmon. It could have been any type of fish. It wasn't really anything to do with the trout. It was the fact that this lady was having fun with a fish on a deck of a boat where other people could see.
That's it.
And filming it.
That's
the issue.
Yes.
That's what caused the issue.
Okay, so since we're all about leaving
That's what caused the issue.
Yeah, since we're all about leaving golden nuggets, Christina, Marty, and John, and about adding value to humans' lives here in the lab, the morning show, mornings in the lab, 8 o'clock Eastern time, nation. What we want to advise you guys today is this. If you have any interest at all in having sex with a trout, don't film it. Because you might find yourself with some bestiality charges. There's your tip. This thing morning in the lab this morning. So there you go, Marty. That's what we're going to leave the nation with today. Just do not have sex with trout, John Anderson.
Hey, John.
No joke.
John, what's providing more value? Warning people about bots or telling people about sex with a trout? What's providing more value? John Anderson.
Probably equal in two very different ways, but you know.
Oh my God. Good morning, the calisthenics guy. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the show this morning. You have tuned into Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Marty Fit, John Anderson, producer Christina Flynn here. And we got Jenny Sucat sitting in the green room, patiently wondering what the hell she's gotten herself into. She's like
cracking up over there.
She's like, husband, I'm on this show right now. Children, go back to bed. Because I'm on this show right now. I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Turn the music down, turn the audio down, because they're talking about trout and... So I invite you guys to like the channel, subscribe to the channel, share the channel with all your friends. And we go live here, like I said, 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday to Friday. And we are talking today about the good, the bad, and the surprising of being an entrepreneur. Jimmy, going to come up in about 2 minutes with the accountability check-in. But guys, before we do that, another thing that popped into my radar was, get this, could your gym routine be the key to business success? Somebody did a fun little analysis yesterday. And get this. Lifting heavy weights could be the underrated factor in business growth. An entrepreneur tracked the growth of companies with CEOs that lifted weights or did fight sports compared to the S&P 500. Get this. He found that his deadlift ETF outperformed the S&P 500 by guys that are lifting. For example, Zuck lifts. Look at the markets. Sudar from Google doesn't lift. Look at the markets. Apple and Tim Cook has been, showing his lifting. Look at the markets. So the fun thing is that the argument in this article was that CEOs and companies that lift weights, John Anderson, are outperforming the market compared to CEOs who don't lift. Consider that, friend.
I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? It's truth.
I mean, we lift heavy shit. You're putting yourself through challenges and obstacles, and I think that might work better for your mental when it comes to unexpected things happening in business. That's it. Oh, calisthenics guys, Anam. Hey, what's shaking, Anam? Good thing I didn't really know you had a second name. Good thing. Nice to see you here, Anam, on the show. Oh, that's Anam. Okay.
And Enzo, I see you're feeling under the weather, pal. Hope you're getting better. Thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate that, and appreciate you, of course, as well. So, all right. So, Jimmy, let's pivot to the accountability check-in, and then we're going to come back and welcome Jenny into the lab. We're going to spend the next 15 minutes getting to know Jenny Sucat, world traveler, mom of 3, developer, creative mind, and then we're going to get into the main topic. So, but as you guys know, we like to do this on the show, and we're going to do this right here. Yep.
Stretch break.
Stretch break. And if y'all don't like hearing Keith, it's time for you to leave the room. My point in the show. Okay. Let's bring it up here. All right. So if what you do every day doesn't match who you are, it is going to drain you. Oh, yes, it is. So ask yourself, are you a creative? Are you a systems builder? Or are you a risk builder? Who are you, as Tony Robbins would ask, who are you at your core? Do you get absorbed in working with the product or process? You're a creative. Do you enjoy optimizing processes and helping people find better ways? Well, you might find yourself being a systems builder. Do you spot opportunities? Those ones that are over there and you like to scale them and then move on? You're a risk taker. You got that entrepreneurial blood in you. But if you don't know who you are, your actions, they're going to clash with your purpose. Your work, your business, your life is going to frustrate you. So I invite you, dig into your true nature. As Tony Robbins would say, dig into your core. Who are you at your core? Align it with what you do, with who you are, and see the difference that it makes in your life. And I'll share a personal anecdote on this one. For my whole life, I thought I was the entrepreneur. But as I've reflected through my journey in life, I'm truly the creative. Do I like taking risks? Absolutely. But do I love to build and create? Oh, that's what I love. That's my core. That's my why. That's what gets me out of bed. So if what you do every day doesn't match who you are, it's going to drain your business, Athlete Nation. So I invite you to consider looking in the mirror and asking yourself, who are you? Who are you at your core? That's Accountability Check-In, dropping every single day around this time. Sponsored by the bright eyes of Pete Davidson. I got producer Flynn just acknowledging the jokes here. She's like, oh yeah, they're bringing them on great today here. Hey, Tina? Yeah, you love it.
Context. You can't give jokes to people that have no context.
Well, they're going to be curious though. They're going to go, oh, hey, so what's Pete Davidson's eyes have to do with this? Well, go look. Maybe he had a good sleep last night. People will wonder. Yeah, there you go.
I have no context, nor was I curious about
No one does.
Nor did you
Keith
care.
is an audience of one right now.
This is Keith. I know it's probably corny, so I'm not going to bother to ask.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's move producer Flynn off the page. We got John Anderson here, and let's do this. Let's bring Jenny Sucat on stage. Jenny Sucat. Oh! I got to do this one right here. Jenny Sucat is now there. She is. Yeah.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey there.
What's up, Jenny?
How are you?
Not good. Not much. How about you guys?
We're good. Were you impatiently or patiently, eagerly waiting to get into the show this morning? You heard our conversation about nature and Mother Nature, and any comments on that?
I just like I like to not have that stuff interact with my life as much as possible. So I try and just do like the breathing outside in nature and the walking in nature and the playing with kids in nature kind of stuff. That's the nature that I like.
I like that part of nature as well. So, but we like to, and so does John. As you may or may not, but John's up in Lake Tahoe right now, Jenny, and he's been battling bears all week. So,
nice.
Johnny, so before we get into Jenny's story, we didn't get a chance, Johnny. What's the bear update in the last 24 hours, pal? Did you have any bear troubles last night?
Well, they actually trapped one, and they got one out of here, but it didn't seem to make a difference because there's multiple bears here now, because they're obviously one's eaten, the other ones are come to eat what the first one's eaten, and now we've got 2 cubs and a mother. Now it's getting real, because if you end up between the cub and the mom, you got yourself a major problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right. You do. Yes, you do. So you weren't trapping it. They had the authorities there trapping you, Johnny.
Yeah, they trapped it. Yeah, no, I'll be happy to say that I have no problem scaring it away, but you're not getting me trying to trap that son of a bitch. No.
You're a tough guy, John.
He is a tough guy. I know. He's a tough mofo. So
I'm a lover, not a fighter. Let's get this straight right now. If I get backed into a corner, if I need to whoop some ass, I'm gonna whoop some ass, but I'll give you a kiss before I punch you in the mouth.
Yeah, and I'm right there next to you, Anderson. I'm right there next to you. Hey, so Jenny, we got a poll running today. We run polls here every day in the lab. We run them on the mornings in the lab page there, and we ran a poll yesterday, boys and girls. And the poll yesterday was: have you ever considered starting a side hustle?
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, and the answers we threw out to the audience was already doing it, seriously considering it, thought about it but unsure, and then not interested. Jenny, what do you think the responses were that came back from the audience?
If I had to guess, I would say like probably 15% not interested, with about 30% already doing it, and then the rest would be like in the interested category. Interesting.
Yeah. Marty, what do you think about that one?
I think most people are interested.
Yeah. Johnny.
I missed the question. I broke up, so I'm dying to know what we're talking about here.
We ran the poll yesterday, and have you ever considered starting a side hustle? And the responses were already doing it, seriously considering it, thought about it but unsure, and not interested.
Thought about it but unsure, I would guess, would be the biggest one.
You're right. Yeah, you're right, John Anderson. So thought about it but unsure had 50% of our votes come in that people are thinking about it but unsure.
Because the first step is always the hardest step. The first step is always the hardest. The second is easier than the first and the third. So get your butt up, take that first step, and stop being unsure about the future that you're going to love. Your future self will thank you.
Keith, I was just about to ask John to explain why he said that. I was just about to ask him, and he did it anyway. I love John, man. I love John.
These sound bites are awesome. You know what's great about the sound bites, though, Johnny, is that even though the internet's delayed, when I cut it up, you're like on time, man. So just keep bringing them, brother. Just keep bringing them, and we'll just keep cutting them up here. So Jenny, we got a poll running today, and it's in line with you being on the show today. So the poll today is: what's your, not your, but the audience, what's your biggest emotional challenge as an entrepreneur? And the responses are handling setbacks, balancing work life. You know a little bit about that, Jenny. Staying motivated and embracing uncertainty. If you were being faced with this poll, Jenny Sucat, what's your answer? Setbacks, work life, motivated, or uncertainty?
Uncertainty for sure.
Oh, yes. And I think we're going to talk about that in that back half hour. That's a big part of that journey, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. So, Marty, Johnny, let's get into getting to know Jenny a little bit. So, you're a world traveler. Mm-hmm. You're a mom of 3.
100%. Yes.
Entrepreneur, developer, creative mind behind the straightforward job site. You're focused on making job searching, recruiting, and hiring better for everyone. I'm curious about this with transparency and simplicity. Yeah. You used to run a bakery. You have you code. You craft made jewelry. I know, Marty.
What kind of combination is this? I love it.
One of the things that I don't say out loud very often, but that I am personally proud of, is I know how to sew jeans from a piece of denim and make a fully fit pair of jeans. That is one of my biggest life accomplishments.
So you can take a pattern and make a pair of jeans.
Yep. Or I can actually take somebody's measurements and craft a pair of jeans from their measurements. Yeah.
So John Anderson, I think so. I'm going to look at you, Johnny. I think we may have the officially laziest guest we've had on the show.
The officially what?
Officially the laziest guest on the show.
Oh my God. I mean, my first question is, if any of you think that you don't have time, listen to what our guest just got done saying, and you got time. Look at all the shit she's doing. So get off the couch, put down the candy bar, take the first step. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's get it. I'm right there with you, John.
I'm with you. And John, you have kids like I have kids. The fact that Jenny's a mom of 3 alone, not 1, not 2, 3 kids, and she's making jewelry, and she's baking, and she's building, and she's making jeans. Jenny, when do you sleep?
I actually sleep more than 8 hours every single night. I'm a sleep person.
Dude,
Wow.
you might be.
You got the goat sound? You got the goat sound?
I do. I absolutely do, John. Marty, I do. Yeah. We are handing that out this morning. We might be handing it out a couple times this morning. We might be handing it later. But Jenny, you are like, you might be the ultimate business athlete persona.
Oh, thank you. Well, I do have to say, all those things are spread out. All of those things were businesses at different times, and I can't do all of it at once. I had different stages, like the bakery stage and the crafting stage. And my husband, I'm really lucky to be married to a fantastic husband. And he's actually like my business partner in this. He does all the research and strategy and project management. But like in general, he's a stay-at-home dad. So we alternate staying at home. So one of us is always with the kids and like pouring into them, and we do everything together. He cooks and cleans. Like we both cook and we clean and we work together, and we do all of this in the child rearing together. All of it is equal and working together. So that's kind of, I think that's might be the biggest key to success.
That's thank you for sharing that. That's a very aspirational, some aspirational comments to share. And people leaning in are going to go, oh, how do we do that? Real Deal Prime is joining in saying, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Real Deal. Good to have you here this morning. Always love having you. Real Deal. And Jenny, Real Deal's looking for a size 36. So if you're looking for some jeans, Real Deal's looking for a size 36. And I agree, Real Deal. She can't be real. Well, she is. She's here with us today, and she's just accomplished a couple of things in her world. Jenny Sucat, and then of course, Jenny, you are also a viral content sensation. You made a post here a couple weeks ago, couple engagements, a little bit of comments. What was the core of the post, Jenny?
Yeah, so the core of the post was, I was actually pissed when I was writing it. I am a little bit fiery, and I was really mad because everybody says to get a job in this market, you have to do basically 80 hours worth of work every single day in order to like be doing enough. And so I just shared like the list of what people are saying you need to be doing to have success in the job market. And I was saying that that's nonsense, and like we need to change it. And that's what my job board is doing. And apparently all of that frustration really resonated with people because they're getting that information left and right.
Are you talking as much about, Jenny, about hustle culture, perhaps? Is that something you were leaning into? We talk about it on the show here, where is there such a thing? Is it a good thing, bad thing? Is that what your post was relating to, Jenny?
Not so much hustle culture as much as it is unrealistic expectations with no real guarantees. So the thing is, if you like, hustle culture has a bit of like, you work hard and then you are able to see some benefit. But in the job market, you can work your ass off and see nothing. And that is more frustrating because people are fine with putting in work, but they just want to see something out of it, you know? And so that system is really kind of toxic at this moment. I don't know if you guys know how it is, but it's just really bad.
Talk about the toxicity in that, Jenny. Does that come from leadership, or does that come from the market itself?
It comes from society. It comes from the market. It comes from late stage capitalism. It comes from the devaluing of humans and the pursuit of profits, really. Like saying like money is more important than people, and numbers are more important than people, and people can be viewed as numbers. All of those things, when you build off of that perspective for long enough, I mean, you can treat people like garbage and you don't have to care about them. And so that's just how the culture is in the current job market.
This is a fascinating conversation because when I grew my last company, we leaned into the numbers. We leaned into everybody, let's go make as much cash as we can. However, we very much leaned into the humans needed us to get us there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And that's what I think what we recognized when we were building ICUC, Marty and John, was that it was like, okay, Jenny, we got a big goal here. I want to help make a lot of cash so we can help change your life, your kid's life, your husband's life. And I don't know what, so I'm a capitalist. I like making cash. I fucking love it. I love making money, but not at the expense of the human beings. And I think that's where when you see organizations go a little too far, it's like, well, no, because the humans got you here, right? And if you got to recognize the humans got you here, and then once we all can align with that, we can all go make as much money as we want.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, money is a tool. Money is just placing value on something. So money doesn't really have any sort of goods or bad in and of itself. It's just where you put it on the spectrum. And what you're saying is you put it below humans in the spectrum. Like you have human consideration above the fact that you want to make money, because money is awesome. And like its power to do things and live good lives and all of that, fantastic. But as soon as you put it over the well-being of others, you're going to be exploitative and you're going to be kind of a jerk.
Yes. Yeah, that I absolutely agree with. So, okay, we're going to dig further into conversation with Jenny Sucat, the good, the bad, the ugly in entrepreneurship, maybe some capitalism stuff. But before we do that, Marty, we're going to throw you onto the stage. We're going to let Johnny do a little quick break here, and we're going to put Jenny on the side for a quick second. We're going to do this See Marty Fit Tip of the day, and then come back and continue the chat with Jenny around the good, the bad, and the surprising of being an entrepreneur. Marty.
All right, we got the fitness tip for today. Let's get into it. Every single day, our bodies take a ton of stress. We're talking about the tension that builds up from hours of sitting and moving without really moving right. We think about working out to build muscle or lose weight, but what about keeping our bodies functional? That's where stretching comes in. And I struggle with this a lot too. I've been leaning in a lot into my stretching. I don't know if y'all peeped. I just said stretch break when Keith did accountability check-in. But stretching helps you stay mobile, avoid injury, and feel good in your own skin. It's easy to overlook, but if you ignore it, your body will remind you loud and clear. And 9 times out of 10, if you're having knee issues, lower back, if those hurt, 9 times out of 10, you're probably super tight and you need to focus on some stretching. Start with the basics. Stand up every hour. Touch your toes, reach for the sky, twist your torso. Do this throughout the day to keep those muscles loose. Incorporate it into your routine while you brush your teeth, stretch your calves, watching TV, get down on the floor for some hip flexor stretches. And the hip flexors, when you're sitting down and standing up, those are working a lot. And a lot of times when you're sitting down, those stay still and they get tight over the years, especially if you have a desk job or things like that. Don't wait for pain to strike. Preventative stretching can save you from those annoying aches that sideline your progress. Stretching is a gift you give to yourself. Make it a priority. That's the fitness tip for today.
All right, there's the fit tip of the day from See Marty Fit, coming in every single day around the 8:30 mark of the show here. Marty, rest and recovery day for me. I did yoga, did a 45-minute session before the show today, focused on my hamstrings, focused on my hips, and man, hips get tight by sitting, So nation, we always encourage you, go touch your toes. Yeah. I know that John's a big fan of that as well. Just take some time today, and I'll lean into what Anderson's been teaching us. Go and touch your toe, or go pick something up off the floor. But don't just get up, hang out for 3 or 4 seconds, 5 seconds, right? Do that every single day throughout the week. This little nugget is going to help you. Trust me. It seems so ridiculous to hear me talking about it, but the value you're going to get from just hanging out, picking up that pencil is going to be substantial. And good time saying thanks, Marty, for that one there. So let's bring Jenny in. So Jenny, are you a stretcher? Do you spend time taking care of your physical body from a stretching flexibility standpoint, Jenny?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm into yoga. If I had to do one thing, yoga and things like that are my favorite. I have a little bit of asthma stuff, so just running around. I run around with trying to handle my kids enough as it is. So yes. I focus on the breathing and the stretching more than anything else.
That's so today's my stretch today. I like to make Wednesdays the day for stretching, and that's my mouse is stuck here over here. So let's get into a conversation about the entrepreneurial challenges. Yeah. So Johnny, Marty, when we sat down and looking for some topics of discussion today with Jenny, I said, hey, let's talk about entrepreneurship. And I gave her a couple titles to consider. And she threw back to me the good, the bad. And I love this third word, guys, the surprising part of being an entrepreneur. So let's get to that third part. What has been the most surprising part to you, Jenny Sucat, of being an entrepreneur? Johnny, you're next with the question, and Marty after that, you.
So I think the most surprising part has been the amount of walls that come down when you use imagination and creativity. So my whole idea for this was just, I saw a problem and I said, that would be really easy to fix if you just used your head and had some honest communication on here. So I had an idea, and then I was planning on just building out this company myself, building out this straightforward job site myself. And I talked with people, and now we have 11 volunteers working together, no pay, like none of us are getting paid. We're just working together to build this thing because it needs to exist. And that's a really surprising thing. People expect a whole bunch of more businessy things to be going on instead of just like human ingenuity and connection. So that's been really surprising how much reliance and communication with other humans just makes miracles happen.
Yeah, no kidding. Johnny, question for Jenny.
So I just love the fact that you're doing what you're doing all this stuff, and you're basically getting outside your comfort zone in lots of different directions. And I think our audience needs to hear that. So I think we're here to inspire them. What would be the piece of advice you would give to any of our people listening that are wanting to take that first step? What do you say to them that helps them take that first step?
Well, so if you're solving a problem, so that's a big thing. You have to make sure what you're wanting to do is solving a problem and that you care about that problem being solved. And then just go for it. First, don't listen to your family. They will tell you not to do it. They will tell you not to take risks. They will tell you all of these things that are scary because that's their job to keep you safe. But you have to say kind of,
yes,
I'm going to do what I want and I'm just going to do this. And you have to be prepared for anything, but like just kind of going at it with this idea that I'm going to do this no matter what. Doors just open when you walk through them like they're going to open.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And there will be plenty of naysayers in your journey, Jenny Sucat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. But I just say bring it on. I love the idea of showing somebody that they were wrong by just smiling and then succeeding. So that's that's what I hope to do.
Jenny, you may have heard John's comments before, and Marty coming to you in a second here, but Johnny always says, if you understand what I'm trying to do, then I haven't set my goal high enough for you.
There you go.
In other words,
that's not how Johnny said it.
Well, I know. I just paraphrase it, Marty.
He butchered the shit out of it, but I think everybody understands what he's saying.
Yes. And if you're walking towards the darkness, you're actually working towards the light. Is also something that John might say as well, Marty.
Another something butchery, like but we got the point across.
John, come back to the internet, man. Come back so you can help me out here. Marty, what do you got for Jenny, man?
I got a couple questions. First,
yeah.
Where are you from, Jenny?
Oh, so I am from Tennessee. Good old Tennessee.
Okay. I thought I heard a country accent.
Dang it. No, just kidding. In America, they say like they sometimes have a hard time telling where my accent is from, but right now I'm living in Albania. So that's where my travels have brought me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually joining you at 2:30 p.m. my time.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Wow.
So,
and 2 boys, 1 girl, or
yes,
what?
2 boys, 1 girl.
How did I know that? I knew that.
How did you guess that?
She said it,
it's probably like trauma on my face somewhere because doing boy, girl is it's rough. Oh my gosh.
When you said adventures and being active or something along those lines, I was like, she has boys. But the question I wanted to ask was, what was the toughest obstacle you faced with entrepreneurship?
Right now, honestly, the biggest thing that is difficult would be twofold. One, my mental game, just kind of getting down in the dumps and doubting myself and all of that. And then another part of that is just like physical health. So when you have young kids, they are gross. They are just germ little monkeys. And so you get sick a lot if you're like hugging them and kissing them and all that good stuff. And so if you're trying to be an entrepreneur and you get sick frequently, it can really wear down on your like mental stick-to-itiveness and confidence. So that's been like probably one of the bigger things. Other than that, I'm confident in my vision and what I'm going to do, and nobody's going to stop me. But if I'm like sick in bed, then you're like, I'm a failure. So that's one of the harder things.
Definitely.
I got a rule that I use as an entrepreneur that I got to give everybody out there.
Yes.
And it's basically this, because what she said is so true. And you have to give yourself some boundaries and lines in the sand. So mine is, if I'm not puking, I'm not stopping.
Yeah, that's it's funny because when I heard Jenny talking about the dark challenges of being an entrepreneur, John, I was going to look to you for some advice. And I'm glad that we used the puking metaphor this morning. That's the one I was hoping you'd use.
That's a good one, man.
But in all seriousness, though, John, in all seriousness right now for Jenny, you and I have talked privately, John, about the battle and the journey of being an entrepreneur, those dark moments, those times when you're like, oh my God, I'm in the darkness. And you're like, Keith, if you're in the darkness, you're actually closer to the light. Right now, John, lean into Jenny. Offer some of that advice that you've offered to me, to our audience, about those dark moments of being an entrepreneur, because we know, John, Jenny's been there. So offer some, John Anderson advice on what those dark moments mean, but more importantly, John, what's on the other side of those dark moments from your point of view?
Well, first off, every all-time high is met with an all-time low, and every all-time low is met with an all-time high. So the darker it is around you, that means the light is close, and that means it's going to be bright. And so you just got to remind yourself that you're looking for the darkness, because without the darkness, you don't find that new, intense, bigger, brighter light. And so it's like a chaos period. When you get into that darkness, you're forced to restructure, you're forced to recalibrate, but this is what's needed to take that big next step. So embrace the darkness. The darker it is around you, the closer you are to the light.
And Jenny, if I can offer from John's perspective, I can relate to that. So, we're doing something here very much like yourself. We're grinding it out. We're putting our heads down, going to work. There's dark moments, Jenny. Yeah. So I've had some, I've had success in my life, but there's dark moments because you're like, oh my God, nobody understands what we're trying to do. We're trying to change the world. Good.
Yeah.
That means we're going in the right direction. Right. So,
but the main thing there is we got to seek the dark. We got to seek it, because without the dark, there is no major new light. You got to seek the darkness. If you find the light, guess what? You're only going to be there for a little bit. You got to plunge yourself back into the darkness to rerun this cycle. This is what entrepreneurship is. You got to seek the darkness, seek failure.
Yeah.
Use fear to your advantage.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask you to elaborate on that a little bit? Like, what does seeking darkness actually look like? Like, how would that play out?
I think a better way to put it would be to seek failure, pursue failure, because obviously failure is, you could say failure is the darkness, but without failure, we're not going to get to that next step. Failure is our front door to success.
Okay. Awesome.
And I think, Jenny, if I was to relate that to perhaps, a gym metaphor, and moving yoga side, I did yoga today, big yoga guy, but I also like to lift weights. Right. So to me, the failure aspect is getting under the squat rack and adding every 2.5 pounds, those little small plates that you're like, oh my goodness, that thing's going to hold me back. And you're like, yeah, it did. It made me fail. Right. So it's like seeking those 2.5 pound increments, right? Pushing forward every single day, 1% until John's point where you're like, oh, can I go 1 more % tomorrow? Yeah, you can. Right. And I'm relating to as an entrepreneur, Jenny, right now, where there's moments going, I don't know if I can go any further. Or you're sitting back looking in the mirror, asking yourself that question. Oh man, husband's managing the kids. It's dark right now. Go and put a 2.5 pound plate on your rack and try to do the squat. That's what John's saying, right? And if you have failure, I guarantee your husband's probably standing there waiting to catch you to help you get lifted up.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
right? So
Well, another thing too, Jenny, is that you're already, I mean, you're in it. You're an entrepreneur. So whether you understand you're doing this or not, you're already doing it because you can't
Yeah.
help but to be doing it as an entrepreneur, man. It's a tightrope. You're going to take a step and go falling off, but that's what's needed. So you're already there. It's just basically kind of putting it in a way that makes sense, that you see it like, okay, boom, I'm struggling. This is difficult. It's dark. Oh, this is what I need. This is perfect. Push a little deeper into it.
yeah, I think he's bang on, Jenny, with that, right? I know it's difficult sometimes to lean into, but and I've been there too. I've been in your shoes, so I can hopefully try to relate some of this over to you there. But what fascinates me in your position, Jenny, is how you're navigating the role of creative, but also the business side. Like you go from being a creator, because that's two different sides of your brain. And I do it every single day. And I asked producer Flynn to join the team so I could focus on as much the business side of things. How are you doing that, Jenny? Being a creator and being a business entrepreneur at the same time, and how do you pull those levers day to day, Jenny?
Yeah. Okay. So, the creative thing that doesn't really go away. I feel like imagination and creativity and all of that bleeds into every single bit of it. And honestly, every time I've worked for somebody else, I've been like, no offense, a little bit of offense, they're dumb. Like I could do it better than that. I could use my imagination to make this so much better. So basically all I do is I use my imagination and I say, how would I like this business to run if it could run in any way? And then I write that down and me and my husband crunch some numbers. And then we find out what we can do. And then we do that thing.
Yeah, there you go.
And so there are bits that are more intensive in business side, but my husband has been taking a lot of like he's been reading through legal documents and setting up banks and like making sure our LLC documents are all in order and all of those. So yeah, I think it's just really being flexible and imaginative and creative with how do we want to do this? Can we do it this way? And if so, just take the next steps.
Yeah. You're hanging out with Keith Bilous, C. Marty Fitt, and John Anderson, and our guest, Jenny. Go ahead. Lost you there, John. We're hanging out here this morning with Jenny Sucat, talking the good, the bad, and the surprising of being an entrepreneur. And we got a guest from the feeds here this morning. John, looking at you as well here. And Jenny, Roni says, if I pursue failure and I fail in my pursuit, should that make me happy or otherwise? I'm going to offer, I don't like the word should because shoulding happens all over the place and should doesn't make us feel very good. But I'm gonna invite you to consider being happy. Because if you're pursuing something that you want to do and you fail at it, you've done something most people won't even take the chance to do. And what I'd invite you is, would you perhaps enjoy failing at something you've tried or living a life of mediocrity and not trying at all? I don't know. I think big leaders take big swings, and some of them make it, some of them don't. But many of us toil in mediocrity. So ask yourself, do you want to toil in mediocrity or do you want to go try to hit a home run? Jenny is out there trying to hit a home run. So that to me is
a fantastic quote that I have for that. There is a quote from G.K. Chesterton, and he was saying, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Meaning if you mess it up and you're still trying to do it, that's worth it if it's worth doing in the end.
Yes.
I like that quote.
Yes, absolutely. I like that as well. Jenny, talk about the myth of work-life balance in entrepreneurship. So you got a lot going on, as we've been kind of learning about you and everything you got going on in your world. Is there a such thing as work-life balance, Jenny?
First off, I would say it's life-work balance. Like this thing is my idea, but it stems from my life. My family is primary. They're always going to be top of the list. But this idea is it's a bleeding out of my life, of what I care about. And so they're actually not really fighting. It's more like I have my responsibility to make sure my kids get good food and I spend time with them and I laugh with them every day and all of this good stuff. But then at the same time, I have a responsibility to work on my ideas and to bring my passion to reality. So it's not so much, I think perhaps I have to find a balance when I get deep in code. Like when I'm coding, headphones go on and I just disappear in the code for hours. but I feel like integrating work into your life in a way where it's just kind of an outflowing of your passion and what you want to do is kind of the ideal in entrepreneurship. That's at least how I try and do it. But I'm really lucky with doing something that I'm passionate about, and that kind of has time restraints anyways.
Yes.
I don't know if that answered your question.
Absolutely. Roni, you're welcome for the response. And Roni, I invite you to subscribe to our channel, Mornings in the Lab. Go like it, go subscribe to it, go share it with your friends in the comments. I appreciate you jumping into the conversation here today. Marty, follow-up question for Jenny and Jimmy, we're going to move into the creator spotlight here in the next 6 minutes or so, or 5 minutes, I should say. Marty, questions for Jenny following up on that?
Yeah, definitely. As far as like, you talk about your husband doing the LLC part and setting up the stuff with the banks and everything. Are you just like more of like the creative, and does that role like work better for you? Is it like you kind of delegated the stuff that works better for him, and you got delegated the stuff that works better for you?
That's not exactly how it works. A little bit. My husband's really good at research. He was a teacher for the past decade and also a blacksmith. He's a badass. But he knows how to research the heck out of stuff. And so basically I started this project and I thought it was just going to be me. But then when it kind of started snowballing, I had a bunch of these things that I couldn't do while networking and coding and designing. And so he's just picked up everything that's outside of my realm and taken charge of those things. And we communicate about all of it and check with each other. So it's more like we're just flexible, and whatever needs to be done, we just do it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the subscribe there, Roni. I appreciate that. Johnny, follow up for Jenny.
What I love of she's the whole thing about work, balance, and all of her.
All righty.
I think we lost
You
John.
love the silent bit.
Yeah, we did.
All righty.
That's okay. That's okay. So Jenny, what mental health is a big discussion point for entrepreneurs. Go, grind. What specific mental health challenges have you encountered as an entrepreneur? Have you had to deal with, which you're comfortable sharing? And then how do you manage those yourself, Jenny?
Yeah. So all of the above. I have a tendency towards depression. So that's just like kind of a family heirloom of mine. And so really self-doubt, spiraling into depression, because like the world can be a really icky place, and it's hard to fight against that. And it's hard to bring something good into the world when negative things try and snuff it out.
Yes.
So depression has been a big part of my life, and that's actually a huge part of why I'm making this, because people's mental health is going down the drain. And so I do a few things to help when I'm when the entrepreneurship stuff is doing that. I take time. Like I try not to work while I'm depressed. I like breathe and I journal and I meditate and I do all these things. And then I just rest if I need it, because the work will be there tomorrow. And I can work harder and better when I'm not in a spiral of depression. And then also, I utilize fun colors to help, because colors and like color theory really help with emotions. And so I do the things I like, wear bright colors. I look at nature. I go outside and I do all these things to help kind of bolster mental health, because it's so important when you're creating, I think. Because that, like the spirit with which you create something kind of flows into the project.
Oh, I like that you use color for that. I've never considered the way that you embrace color. And I like that you've taught me that today. I appreciate that. John, you're back. You have that question for Jenny?
Yeah, goodness gracious. So what I was just basically saying, I just loved the fact that she was recognizing all of her responsibilities. It was the kids, it was work. Because when it comes down to it, as an entrepreneur, what people tend to not understand, the balance takes care of itself, because if you're going to be successful, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. That means your work, your kids, your relationships, across the board. So if you're truly committed to it, meaning the way you do anything is the way you do everything, the balance will be there.
Yes.
Wonderful. That's genius.
It's that old adage, Jenny. It's like, in team sports, it's you practice like you play the game. Hey, Marty, when you're playing basketball, your coaches are like, hey, if you're going to practice shitty, you're going to play your basketball game shitty. So it's back to Anderson's comments, which is, everything you do is anything that you do. It's kind of, you got to do them one and the same, right? So
I tell my clients that too. If they cheat in the workouts, you're going to cheat on your meal plan too when I'm not there. So
that's exactly it. Yeah. And Cam, hey, I thank you for joining in this morning. I appreciate it. And I'm enjoying Cam, your humor in the comments. Yes, Johnny's joining us from the woods today. Good time. Thanks for jumping in and helping us tell our audience that. But John's joining us from the woods. He'll be back into regular internet connectivity last week with on-time sound bites and so forth. So I appreciate your patience. I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you're notified when he's back on in real time. And Jenny, we got a question from Deuce. Have you tried Code Outdoors? And if so, has it raised your productivity?
Ooh, fantastic. So I actually, as often as I can do it, when it's less than 100 degrees outside, I do code outdoors on my balcony.
Nice.
I would say a solid like 80% of all the code I've written has been outside.
Wow, that's exceptional. Good for you.
I'm all about breathing in fresh air and touching grass at any possible moment. So
that's awesome. That's great. That's great. Cool. We're hanging out with Jenny Sucat here in the remaining few moments of our show here this morning. So what we're going to do now, Jimmy, we're going to pivot to the Creator Spotlight. And then Nation, we got a couple-hour show here. We got Jeff Hatton waiting in a different room. So we're going to wrap up here with Jenny. We're going to move over to a different stream. Johnny, that's a different stream on your tab there. So that's the one that I think you logged into first.
I went to the wrong one first. Yeah. I was like, where is everybody?
So we're all about the testing here in the lab, just like all the big players here. We got big plans here. So today we got the show split up into two shows here. So we're going to do our Creator Spotlight. We're going to thank Jenny for showing up and hanging out with us this morning, and then we're going to pivot over to a conversation with Jeff Hatton in a different stream, but we're still going to be here. So Jenny, I said to you last week that we like to do the Creator Spotlight. Cam, let's see your question. We like to do the Creator Spotlight where we take the big old light and shine it on somebody here in the lab. And you said, Keith, I have somebody for you. So I have somebody waiting to be put onto screen, Jenny Sucat. So I'm going to get my buttons spread out here. Jimmy, you ready to rock and roll? So today's Creator Spotlight, Mornings in the Lab, is Ben Lazaroff. He's the founder of Town Square Chess, writer, Staying Human, coach, Leland, Stanford, MBA, ex-McKinsey, Chicago Mayor's Office. Ben is all about staying human, and he's building a state-of-the-art chess coaching marketplace that democratizes chess coaching for every budget, rating, and style. Jenny Sucat, why did you nominate Ben Lazaroff for today's Creator Spotlight on Mornings in the Lab?
Yeah, so I love more than anything when people just speak the truth. And Ben does that, and he does it in a way that focuses on humans. He focuses on humans and their intersectionality with technology. And so I subscribe to his newsletter, and it is fantastic. If you are not, go and check him out. Subscribe to his newsletter. It's really good. Makes you think, and it makes you feel like connected to how humans should be and how we should be thoughtful about things.
I invite you to check out Ben's LinkedIn page here. He's got a bunch of great posts. He talks about being human. He talks about the intersection of that peers through the kaleidoscope into how technology is shaping who we are. I did a little poking around on Ben's site here, and I like the content he puts out there. I like where he's coming from. I would invite you to check out Ben Lazaroff, nominated this morning, the Creator Spotlight by Jenny Sucat here this morning on Mornings in the Lab. So, Ben, I congratulate you. I welcome you to the show. We want to have you on here to nominate and pay forward the next Creator Spotlight. That's what we do here every single day around the 55-minute mark. So, Jenny, I appreciate you coming into the show here this morning. What's next for Jenny Sucat as we wrap up our conversation with you here today?
Yeah, so I'm actually getting started on the actual development of my project, which is super fantastic. If you guys get a chance, checking us out at straightforwardjobsite.com. We have a survey for for job seekers to share their experience, or a place for them to sign up to like follow us through development and crowdfunding our Kickstarter. So that is like, if people could go over there and check us out, see what we're doing, it's really, really exciting. And we should have something, we're hoping to have things out and running in November.
Exceptional. And how can folks find the Straightforward Job site, and how can folks find Jenny Sucat?
Yeah, so you can follow me on LinkedIn, just Jenny Sucat, pretty simple. And then straightforwardjobsite.com is our website. So yeah, and if they sign up for any of our forums, we can add them on an email list to like stay in the loop.
Awesome. Marty, Johnny, final words for Jenny today.
Oh, Jenny, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say, I think what you're doing is amazing, because you're out there, you're kicking butt, you're moving forward, and you've done lots of different things. And this is exactly what our audience needs to see, is that, yes, if you want it, you can go get it. So keep up the good work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I was going
John.
to say, Jenny, thank you for joining. And I think like everything you're doing as a mom and a wife, and, you know, it's amazing. So I definitely learned something today. I know I can take myself up to another notch after listening to you talk today. So definitely appreciate you and everything you offered to us today.
Yeah, and Cam's jumping in here as well.
Thanks so much, Marty.
Jenny, you are moving butt and kicking forward. And Cam is asking, Jenny, do you have a GitHub?
I do have a GitHub. I think it's just Jenny Sucat. I also, hold on, I think you can find my portfolio on my LinkedIn, and that has a connection to my GitHub.
There you go, Cam. I invite you to subscribe, like the page, come follow myself on LinkedIn, go find Jenny. You can find her GitHub over there. I love when folks ask that question, because we know where they're leaning into. And Jenny's like, I have a GitHub, get it over to me. So, and so young, yes, Jenny is a go-getter. Jenny Sucat, thanks for joining us here, Mornings in the Lab with Keith C. Marty, Fit, John Anderson. You come back and see us again?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
I thought our time went pretty fast today, so I really enjoyed the conversation about the good, the bad, surprising. And I'll leave you with this, Jenny. You are an inspiration for everybody listening to the show today.
Oh,
if anybody's sitting around lazy, dude, you got to get your ass going. Go look at Jenny's LinkedIn page and go see some of the things she's accomplished. And as John said as he started the show, there's no reason to be sitting around. If you're sitting around, just go read what Jenny's up to, and that'll inspire you to move forward here. So that's our show here today with Jenny Sucat. So what's going to happen, guys, is we are going to end this stream here. We're trying some new technical stuff here as we keep learning and testing. We're going to end this stream here. We're going to restart the next stream with Jeff Hatton in a different room. So if you're tuning in right now, hang tight. The stream's going to repop up on YouTube, and we're all going to be there with Jeff Hatton in less than a minute. So we're going to get out of here, go walk on over there. And Christina, when we do our debrief later, the good, the bad, the ugly, we can see how this all worked out later. So we are testing. Jenny, you know what testing's all about, right? So we're about testing right now and seeing how this works. Two different streams here. So we're going to end this stream, start the second one with Jeff Hatton. Jenny Sucat, thanks for hanging out with us today. Mornings in the Lab. You come back, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, guys. This was great.
Yes.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thanks, Jenny. Okay, guys, we're going to head on over. We're going to end this stream and see you guys with Jeff Hatton in less than a minute. Cam, we can talk relationships next. Come to the next stream. Lotus Flower, So Young, I see everybody over there. Come over to the next stream. We're going to see you guys in less than a minute. Hang tight.